Okay. Um, Ask that question again, Andrew.
Um, uh, can you run the software Ecamm through a phone as a primary source?
I don't understand.
So, excuse me. So, primary source meaning so right now you're on your main camera,
Yeah. Huh?
and then your second source is going to be the cell phone or your second.
Oh, you mean like as a camera?
Yes.
Yes, yes, you can. You can use it as your main. Um, but cameras, my Wi-Fi has been wigging out, so I'm not gonna try it
Yeah.
again.
Okay.
But the, but guess what? What I'm doing? Spectrum is coming in tomorrow to jack me up to about a gig, bro. A gig of upload speed, not upload, but download speed.
Um,
We ain't playing.
I'm,
We ain't
I'm
playing.
realizing that too. That like so for the magnitude of what some of us are trying to do,
Yep.
the regular Wi-Fi in the house is like
Exactly. A
not
lot of times it
prepared.
needs to be wired. And I have yet to wire, and thankfully, I have not dropped a service yet. But I'm not waiting for that to happen. So I'm being proactive, and I am having our local cable company to come and
Come
put
and boost
some.
you up.
Yeah, dude, bring me up to 2020. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, so yes, you can use your iPhone as your main camera or secondary camera. With Ecamm, you could use it your tertiary camera. So you could use
Okay.
three cameras, and you could actually go and it has its own switcher
Mm-hmm.
system that you could
Mm-hmm.
switch the camera. Obviously, when you have that many cameras functioning through one laptop, you need to have a robust system to be able to handle
Yeah.
um, that kind of demand from your system, from your machine. So you have to do that.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
But if I could just share one thing outside of the camera, the other thing that you guys need to consider is lighting. And
Yeah.
a lot of times people look at lighting as a utility, not as a creative tool. Meaning they're using lighting just to light. So, for instance, I spoke with one of our friends, mutual friends, Pastor Rowe, and when he
Mm-hmm.
started first, he borrowed some of my lights, and of course, being a friend, I let him use it. And when I saw his video, the light was just used kind of just to light the area, and I
Like the
had to
place there.
I had to let him know how to kind of use the light in order for you to make it dynamic, in order for you to get what you're trying to get. So, for instance, in
Yeah.
this video, I'm using only one light, but as you can see, it's pretty good. But this
Mm-hmm.
this is not without planning and not without understanding as to what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
You can
Of
actually
course.
use now. I use some not too expensive, but there's some you have to use some money in order for you to get the light that I'm using. But you can actually use lights that are not expensive, but you just
Mm-hmm.
have to use them correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
So, for instance,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
buy LED panels and they kind of have it just kind of like lighting up, thinking it's gonna help because they have light on. There are science to light that I don't know if it's in this scope of what we're talking about. So maybe we'll have a chop shop part two when you finally
Mm-hmm.
get to going into light and trying to bring lighting in, because I think what you're wanting to do is more of the camera and how to make your
Yeah.
video stand out. But in order for it to stand out, really, it's your light. So I have another light here just next to me, and now it changes the character of the picture.
Yeah. It gives it a different feel.
Yeah. So I mean, and then if I put my backlight, sorry, I'm showing you my butt. Excuse me. but
You're fine.
but take a look at
You're
this
good.
now. You see, it's
Yeah,
totally different.
night and day. Yeah.
It's just shifted. Now I'm gonna go and do something with my software here. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not showing everybody the demo aspect here. And I'm gonna turn down the brightness, and I can really make this moody. And I know you're a singer, and I know you do a lot of stuff, but with just a little bit of lighting, you can actually do some incredible stuff. You see that?
Wow.
That's shifted right there. It's a different conversation now. It's a different, right?
Wow.
It's different now. I mean, the feel is different. The mood is different. Like a scene
Yeah,
just
the whole
changed.
vibe was
The
just
whole
like,
vibe just changed. So that's lighting, that's coloring, that's all these other things that, as an artist or even maybe as a speaker that you could bring it to your live stream or through your product or through whatever it is that you're doing through video, and you can create, and I could make it like that. And
wow, amazing. They should pay you for
they will, bro, one of these days.
they should pay you.
one of these days, one of these days they'll do. So the camera and the lighting really, a lot of people don't have all these things click together. They think, well, I need to light for the sake of exposing my face. So there's different things
Hmm.
with lighting. Number one, for exposure. So you have to lift the person, your subject, out of the scene. So that's the way you have to light
Hmm.
it to just be exposed so that you can see. But then you have to light
Hmm.
in order for you to pop out of the scene a little bit so that you can have an outline. And then you have to light in order for you to become 3D. Does that make sense? And so
Yeah,
all
yeah.
those things, you have to consider when it comes to broadcast. And yeah, even distance, camera to distance, and there are a lot of churches that have the camera all the way in the back, and they're filling up an empty room. Um, I would rather have something intimate like what I'm doing right now, where people feel like
Yeah,
you're
yeah, of
talking to
course.
them. You know what I'm saying? So, if I was consulting, if you guys were consulting me as to best way to provide your community, your church community, with a connection to your pastor and to the church, I would suggest making it very personal, coming to them
Hmm.
like I'm coming now, and the camera
Hmm.
and the lens that you use will provide that kind of blur in the back to be able to give you some depth and some isolation. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Hmm.
and like I said, you don't have to necessarily buy $1,000 camera, but you should invest in a good lens, a 1.8, a 1.4 if you can. It doesn't have to be brand new; it could be used. And a camera, it could be from $300 used to $500. There's one M50 Canon M50 is brand new, for 500 something dollars. And then you
Okay.
could you could get a used 35 1.4 lens, to apply on it, and the lens might even be more expensive than the camera. You believe it or not? Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, because of what you're trying to do. But so anyway, all that stuff. Let's change it back.
Wow. This is amazing.
Look
Thank
at
you.
this, dude. That's a new. Now we're changed again. Now it's back again. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this,
Jeez.
dude. Look at this. And that's just software mod, and there you go. There you go,
Jeez.
Drew.
Wow. 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 Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, bro.
Uh, where can I drop my offering at?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a link. No, I'm serious. I know you're serious. I'm serious too.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we
Yes.
we we provided for that. I'm gonna put it up. But thank you, bro. You know what? Uh, I I know we're talking shop here and talking gear, but one of the things that pull me to follow you still is the ministry that you used to do back when before the pandemic, where you would go to houses and have your own
Yeah,
kind of worship set of that. And
yeah.
dude, I think if you do it right, kind of like the way I just showed you, you can do it very dynamically. I mean, imagine if you were me. People would
I
think
was I,
if you were
I
me,
was
like the
thinking about
video
that.
that I'm showing you is you. People would do, people would say, "Come into my living room, man."
Man, I was thinking about it actually maybe like a night or two ago,
Yeah,
because there was an artist that did a he called it a social distancing tour, but I guess like he got a stage and
yeah,
had his his pianist and his electric guitar or whatever, and it was like live streaming on YouTube and
yeah.
stuff like that. And I was like, that makes so much sense. I could do
Sure, why
that.
not?
Like that makes so much sense. Um, so definitely just being able to see this and how dynamic it is, like
Yeah,
no brainer, no brainer
yeah. And when
whatsoever.
you're ready, obviously, your audio, your microphone, and all that stuff, you probably have more of knowledge of that um, than you do about lights and cameras and all those
Mm-hmm,
things. So
mm-hmm.
if you ever you need any pointers or leading into to that, we can talk about it again. But yeah, man, I think you shouldn't
Definitely.
stop just because you can't go anywhere doesn't mean you can't be somewhere. Woo!
That'll pre.
Yeah, yeah, that's the preacher. Whoa! Come on, send that
That's
cash out,
the that's
baby.
the that's the preacher in you, Pastor Jay. That's the preacher in you, man. But not definitely like this was amazing. Like I could definitely see us you being able to utilize this just to be more impactful
Yes,
with what we do because of just how things are changing and how
yes,
things are shifting
yes.
where th- this is no longer an option.
No,
It's like mandatory.
yeah, yeah. And
So at the
God's
end of
gonna
the day,
bless you. God's gonna make a way. I mean, you mentioned about where can I send the offering? Really, that's something a source for you, bro. Because if you do it in your
yeah.
living room and you're pouring out into people's lives, it ain't like you're doing nothing. You're doing service. You're doing ministry, and I'm sure
Mhm.
people will be blessed. And if you do it, it's a good way. I don't know how's your job situation right now because of COVID, but it is a good way to have people pour into your life and for you to pour into theirs.
Amen. Absolutely. It's been something that I've definitely uh, thought about. Um, for me, it's all about motive, right? And so, unfortunately, in the midst of the uptick of churches going online,
Yeah.
um, there's a lot of, and you said you're going to tackle it tomorrow with Pastor Pagani,
Yep.
but a lot of things that I see that aren't as integral as I would like. And so that's always been kind of the conflict in my heart, like making sure that my motive is clean and my motive is pure. That just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
Um, Paul says all things are what lawful, not all things are beneficial, or how he phrases it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for me, I just don't want to be but
That's good.
making sure that my conscience is clean, that I'm genuinely giving value, I'm genuinely giving good information, and genuinely, pouring into people from a place of love and not out of a place of, oh my God, I need money, so let me just do this thing and put Jesus's name on it so that I can get paid.
That's so good, bro. That's so good, and I hope for our audience sake that they didn't misunderstood me, nor and thank you for your clarification. They misunderstood me and what I'm saying. Um, but people need the ministry, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's far fetched to know that God will use you for other people, and in response for your blessing them, they want to return and bless you. So, the Bible says, somebody, I was in an Ecamm community, live community, and I was sharing information. Like, this guy was like, bro, you are sharing gold here without getting paid. you know? And I'm like, you know what, man? I believe in the scripture that if you throw your bread on the water, it'll come back not
It's
many
gonna come
days.
back. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that, because people know if they're getting something valuable. I genuinely believe that like that there's this give and take, this supply and demand, this like, hey, the information that I just got, it's not dripping from trees everywhere. Like this is like this very,
Right,
very
right, right, right.
specific, niche,
Right.
poignant information somewhere else, I would have to pay for it.
Right.
So because of that, absolutely 110%. But the conversation did not start out with, hey, I'm gonna do this thing, and by the way,
Oh,
pay me.
no. No, not at all. You know, as an artist, if I could talk about that myself, and I don't know if this is true for you, but as an artist, you desire to express your art. But also as a
Yeah.
child of God, as a minister of the gospel, you desire to minister, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's gonna come out from you. The only thing is that you have to be open to receive. Back in the day, I used to be very like, oh no, don't give me nothing, But I
Mm-hmm.
realized that the gift that is being given can only bless the giver if I receive the gift given as a blessing. If I see it as a
Mm-hmm.
payment, then it's not going to return to the giver. Actually, no, it's not going to bless me if I don't think it's a blessing. God's still going to bless the giver because they're
Right.
giving from a heart of a giver. If I
Right.
if I receive it kind of like, oh, don't pay me for the gospel, and somebody pushes money to me and I receive it reluctantly, that's on me. God's going to bless the
Mhm.
giver anyway. But I
No,
think
of course.
if we refuse it, then we don't give a chance for that giver. But anyway, as an artist and as a minister, you desire to pour out. I mean, it's in you. Like every day, it's in you. So, um, you know, that stuff happens.
Yeah, in my thought process, and I know this probably wasn't the goal, but I feel the same. Um, Paul says, um, uh, he quotes Moses in Deuteronomy where he says, um, "Do not muzzle the ox while he's treading out the grain." Right, whereby in context, it's like if people are working in the gospel, then they have a right to receive from their work.
Yes.
But what's interesting is the same Paul then said, uh, "I still chose to be a tent maker so that you guys could not
Hold it
say."
against me.
Right.
You guys can't say that I'm trying to do this so that I can make money off of y'all.
Right, you get what I mean. And so
That's
there,
good.
I do believe that there is this delicate balance that us as ministers, especially now more than ever, that we have to walk. And Paul says that each man be convinced in his own mind, right? But there is this delicate line that we have to cross, whereby, hey, it's easy to put something up and just sell hope because hope is the high ticket item right now. But is that genuine? Is there a heart of love behind it, or are you just smarter than this?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean that's where I'm at, and I think that the more and more that I go down this path, is the more and more that the Holy Spirit is giving clarity. Just continuing to check my motives at the door, um, just to make sure that, hey, whenever I do decide to step in front of an online audience, I'm doing it from a place of love. I'm doing it from a place of understanding, and that people can feel when they listen to me how I feel when I'm listening to you. When it's like, oh my God, no, like this information is like golden. Like this is golden information. How can I
That's right.
not pour back
Yeah,
into
that's right.
what I'm
That's right.
receiving?
That's
You
right.
know.
You
So
know what I realized in the world, and maybe I came to this a little later. I'm glad you're coming to this at the younger age that you're coming in, but like in the world, the ones that are fully successful, the ones that are receiving, you know, financing, are the
yeah,
people that are actually looking to help. It's always the problem solver, not the problem finder, that is the one that is, um, for lack of a better term, gonna make the money. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because the heart of the problem finder is different than the heart of the problem solver.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Because the one
That's
that's
good.
looking at problems may not have a heart to solve them. Because I don't know if you've met people that can find problems and you're just looking at them like, what's your answer then?
Right. Like, what are you gonna do? Right.
Yeah, what are you
Exactly.
going to do about it? You find it, but what are you going to do about it? So there are many
Hmm.
problems in the world, but only those that are solving them are the ones that are making money, are the ones that are taking effect. Those are the ones that are influencing the world that we live in. Um,
Yeah.
and so I think as ministry, I think ministry is problem solving. That's what it is, problem solving.
Hmm.
And people want to pour out into problem solvers, and want to really just shut up the problem uh, finders, and definitely the problem makers.
That part. That part right there.
There is room for the problem finders. Definitely better for the problem solvers.
Hmm.
But the problem makers, yeah, that's a different story.
Night and day. Night and day. Night and day. But
But
yeah, it's something, that I've been seeing, and just like I said, just checking my own heart, just to make sure, like, all right, Andrew, like, you're still called to the ministry. I mean, I minister now, but like, you're still called. You're still, chosen. Um, just make sure that when you step out and whenever you speak or you're giving information, make sure that it's poignant. Make sure that it makes sense. That there's a lot of information that I see going out from the church that's like, hey, somebody could have just Googled this. Like, this is not mutually exclusive. Like, like, like anybody knows this, but then like you're selling it. It's like, ugh. So yeah, but to get back on topic, this was amazing, and I think I, yeah, this is amazing. Like, I would send people to you, like, this is amazing, and I think this would help, you know, countless ministries. So
yeah, man,
thank you.
that's my desire, to really, because we are in this generation, this group, and I don't think it's gonna happen anytime. I preach this message. I'll probably tag you on the message I preached today. That the things that we thought were a lot of people want something new from God, but they want the old stuff wrapped up in new aluminum foil, kind of. They don't
Yeah,
really,
yeah, 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 yeah,
they don't
yeah,
really want something
yeah.
new from it. Like the children of Israel, get us out of Egypt. When they got out of Egypt, they're like, that's not what we wanted. uh, I don't know if we like this new, I don't know if we like it right
Hmm.
now. The children of Israel, and then
Yeah.
people were like looking for the Messiah. Messiah came, and they're like, I don't like this Messiah. he's too he's too
Hmm.
radical. He's too out of the,
Hmm.
he's too new for us. People like
Yeah.
their new to be actually old stuff just repackaged. Um, but God is
Yeah.
totally doing something new, and that's another nugget there, bro. But God is doing something totally brand new, and I think it's best for us to look at it and be like, you know what? Let's not look back, because he that looks back is not worthy, right? He that looks back is not worthy. So I think looking forward to what God is going to do in this new season, for myself, and definitely for you, to be like, okay, how can I position myself in this thing? Jennifer, my wife, and I taught on three things, three biblical principles on how to deal with crisis. Number one, obviously, mind your mind. We all know that. Two, embrace the new, and then really position yourself for maximal impact. So
Yeah.
that's where we're at. Once you manage your mind, once you embrace that you're in the new season, now you're positioned to do something about that new season. So look at that, bro.
Thank you, Pastor Jay. Once again, man. Thank you so much.
You
Please
got it,
make sure
brother.
to send the link or to put it somewhere so I can dump all of my money on you. In Jesus' name.
God, take the spirit of Andrew and place it on everybody that I've spoken to in the past few weeks.
Take all of my money. In
Like that
Jesus'
meme,
name.
right? Take my money, just take my money.
In Jesus' name. Yes, sir.
Amen. All right, brother. I love you. Just let me know if you need to again, hit me up, and we'll do another chop shop here and
Okay,
help
awesome. You
other
got it.
people. All right. Love you,
Mm-hmm.
bud. I'll talk to you
All
later. And say hello to your church family for me.
right, you got it.
All right. Bye bye.
All right.
Well, everybody, look at that, huh? That is my friend Andrew John, young minister of the gospel, musician, a minister, and a prophetic guy. Works in the prophetic. Just spending time with us here on LJA Ministries. Now, my desire is really to help other people achieve what they're looking for and what I believe or they believe God has for them in their ministry and in their lives. And my desire is to help them, support them, come along with them, and hopefully be a blessing to them in a way that is substantial, a way that can change generations, a way that can change their lives, the lives of those that they encounter, and hopefully the larger kingdom community. So anyway, if you need any help, if you need any conversation, if you're willing to come live here online with me and talk shop the way we just did with Andrew, would love for you to do that, and we can talk about it. I'll help you, and hopefully our conversation will help other people. All right? Like this page, follow it, tag people, share it, and love Jesus and love others. God bless you. Bye-bye.